Hello lovelies, it's Lesley. Not quite enough sunlight, very misty day today. I started recording earlier in the week and then didn't put an intro on, so hello, here we go. I'm going to put some yarn onto my niddy nody, and I was asked to show how I did that. And apologies, name's gone out my head, so thank you for asking. Sorry. Now, the person who owned the niddy nody before me, as I bought it second hand, very kindly wrote some numbers on it. So, number 1, number 2, and that has been very helpful in enabling me to use this and remembering how to use it if I haven't been near it for a while. So, we start off number 1, and opposite number 1 on the back we have number 2. Then we go down, directly down from number 2 we have number 3. Turn it round. Number 4 is on the back. And then we come up, and next to number 2 on the back we have number 5. And opposite that we have number 6. And then directly down to 7. On the back of that we have 8. And back to 1 again. And you can get into a rhythm of it fairly easily. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not if it pops off, you can't. 7, 8. And then just repeat. And you just follow that down. And I tend to hold my starting thread against my fingers on the middle piece of the niddy noddy, so that all I have to do is just twist to get the yarn nicely in place. Every now and again I'll make a mistake and I'll hold it here, but then you find that you're crossing against yourself, so it's very quick to rectify and just there you go. And like I say, you can get into a rhythm of it fairly quickly, so it's pretty quick to wind up. So let me tell you about life while I'm doing this. Yes, Saturday I was working, I was catching up on stuff. Yeah, that was Saturday. And yesterday, Monday, had a couple of ceremonies, and I was pretty worn out. They were both quite long ceremonies. One because it had a lot of people speaking. I was getting worried about overrunning. Most of the funerals I conduct are at a crematorium, and especially at this time of year we know that there is another ceremony following about a quarter of an hour after ours finishes, so you don't want to overrun because that's not fair on the next family. But we were out in time. And then the second one, also quite a long ceremony, but that was because they wanted lots of music. So although I was sort of a little keeping an eye on the clock just to make sure that everything ran smoothly and to time, I spent a lot of that on sitting down listening to music, so that was fine. This that I'm skeins up is my leftovers. I think I showed you last month that when I'm plying the yarn that I've spun, there's usually a bit left over, and I put all those bits onto a bobbin, and it occurred to me that I should perhaps start skeining them up, you know, putting them into a, not skeining them up, making them into yarn. And there was the possibility of chain plying them, and how could I forget, Saturday was the Zoom call, and the lovely Juanita, who was on the Zoom call, was giving us all very good advice about plying, especially chain plying. So I should have tried it, but I'd already started this by this point. So rather than chain plying what's there, I thought I would spin up some plain coloured fibre, and in this case it's alpaca. People who've been watching for a while may remember that a few years ago, and I am talking pre-COVID, I took my mate Mand to an alpaca farm, and she very kindly bought me a fleece as a birthday gift, which I then had scoured, treated, combed, all the prep stuff. I made a poncho out of the yarn that I made at that time. So I spun up some alpaca. I also spun up some wool so that I wasn't dealing with 100% alpaca, because that can go a little droopy, and made a poncho at that time. But I had some of the alpaca left, and I thought, given that it's a sort of grey brown fairly neutral colour, it would be a good base to put against all these bright colours that I've got in my spinning leftovers. So that's what we've got here. You can see we've got quite a few different colours. There is still some yarn on the bobbin. Some of the leftovers are still left, but I was using my woolly winder to ply these, and when that bobbin was full and when I used up the alpaca that I'd spun, that was when I stopped. So what are we doing? Oh, we're getting close to the end. That's good. So, now someone else suggested, and that was Marie, I think, so thank you Marie, keeping the yarn on the noddy for 24 hours to help set the twist. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to tie up the ends so that it doesn't become unwound, and then when I take it off I can just soak it, and I'll soak this tomorrow and dry it from there. So I hope that's helped for those who are interested in a noddy. As I say, the person who owned this before me, because I bought it second hand, wrote the numbers on, and I really would recommend doing the same if you're able to do so. So it's 1, 2, down to 3, 4, up to 5, 6, down to 7, 8, and then you're back at number 1 again. See you later in the week. Hello lovelies, life has got very busy, so I'm going to wrap things up here, this being a Thursday, but I do have another little FO to show you. I'll talk all about it for the month end podcast, but we have some mittens. Those of you who've been around a while may think, I'm sure I've seen those mittens before, and you will have done, because they are in exactly the same yarn as I made some before. These are for my dad. The pattern is Grey Parade, it's a drops pattern, and I'm making them again. It's an adaptation, it's a knit flat pattern, which is designed in garter stitch. I went for stocking stitch, and I've added a little bit of elastic to the base of the cuff, because we know from experience that these go a bit baggy when they've been washed a few times, and this will just help them stay on better. So another pair of mittens done, and that's going to be it for this week. So apologies, it's all a bit rushed at the end. Just busy at the moment and need to crack on with stuff. So I hope everyone's well. Thank you for all your comments and thoughts. Look after yourselves. Happy crafting. Take care. And thanks for being here. Bye bye.